Noodles, noodles, and more noodles. We got noodles from Lidl, noodles from K Market, noodles from S Market, Rainbow, whatever. We're going to do a comparison of the cheapest noodles you can buy from the 3 big brand stores. And then we're going to do a simple comparison of 3 different wok mixes this time. Not different, but they're very similar from 3 different stores. So again, from Lidl, from S Market, and from what do you call it? K Market. Now we're going to do the test separately, but obviously we like to eat them together. And I do want to give a little disclaimer for a lot of you who think that eating noodles is the cheapest meal you can get. No, it's not. You're better off with a bit of rice, beans, lentils, whatever you want, macaroni, a lot of healthier, better, more flavorful options. But now let's focus on this. So let's start us off and compare what we've got. We've got noodles from Lidl under the Newgate name, but these are store brands, the way that they work. How much did they cost? They were 45 cents a piece. They're actually the most expensive on the list, surprisingly. Let's hope that price translates to flavor. May or may not. Next up, I'm going to open this up. It comes in a pack of 5. You have to buy it in a pack of 5. And these are Euro Shopper. It's what Lidl uses for their low brand. Not Lidl, sorry about that. It's what you find in K Market for the low brand, cheapo food. Per unit, this is actually the cheapest. So I just double checked, and these come out to about 27 cents, 28 cents a piece. I believe that's right. And they come in a pack of 5 that cost you about €1.30. So a bit cheaper. But to that respect, a bit smaller as well, as the ones from Lidl are 108 grams and these are 65 grams. But me, and probably like many other people, we eat these per unit, per bag, whatever you want to call it. I don't mix and match them, so a lot of times with things like this, I don't really care, because I'm just going to eat one. And if there's less of it, so be it. I'll be satisfied. And with this, what flavors are we getting? We have meat. Doesn't tell you what meat, just meat, chicken, and curry. 3 distinct flavors. If I haven't mentioned it, I don't know if I did, but in Lidl you will have a curry flavor, a barbecue beef flavor, and distinctly a spicy prawn flavor. Shrimp for any other viewers out there. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move on. Just give me a second as I open up these packages, because there's 5 of them. What I do want to mention here is in S Market, they don't sell mixed bags. I believe this brand is also sold in Prisma, Aleppa, all those other stores. I might be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong. But the packs, at least when I found them, are all individual flavors. So a flavor of tom yum, beef, chicken, noodles, and vegetables. Yeah, that's a lot of noodles. So we have, yeah, as I said, chicken, beef, vegetable flavor, tom yum, and chicken. So we got a lot of different interesting flavors. Now we shall test them, I believe. How are we going to test them? Well, we have approximately 9 different bowls for 9 different flavors, and sure, they're not exactly the same size. That might impact the flavor, amount of water, all that. But we're just going to do the whole boiling water, put the noodles in there, give them a taste, and see how that goes. So let's get started, right? Oh yeah, what about these 5 in terms of price? It's 33.8 cents per piece, so a little bit more expensive per unit, per bag, or per whatever than the ones from K-Market, but a bit cheaper than Lidl. But it's important to note that these are 85 grams, so they're also a little bit bigger than the ones from K-Market and smaller than ones from Lidl. So maybe if I get a chance, I'll put up right now a comparison in price and per ounce. If you make your decision, again, like I said, I don't really care because it's per unit. Anyway, let's move on to actually trying these out. Let's go ahead and put them in the bowls. We'll do this one by one. Take a note. I got a little kitty here, wants to also have noodles. We're going to go ahead and put it down. There you go. Fits quite nicely. Some people like to crunch up their noodles. I like it when I can fit it, not to. And here I don't have to, so we'll leave that as that. I'm going to line these up with a package of what they are, which is nothing but powder, and you'll find this with the generally with these low-end noodle packs, that you have nothing but packed powder. If you get anything, it's a bit higher in price, you often get oil and little bits of dried vegetables, if it matters to you. Okay, so we'll continue. And continue we shall. And we'll see how this goes. At least they have distinct flavors, and maybe if I zoom in a bit, I'll get that back into frame. We can go ahead and look at let that focus for a bit. And yeah, there we go. And you can see that there are bits of Mr. Kitty, you gotta go. There are bits of I don't know if those are just some vegetable type of thing. Dried out, minimal, but it's there. So let's continue on. That was Tom Yum flavor, so we'll take a note of that. Make sure that we don't forget about that. We'll continue with our vegetable flavor. Open that up. And I know this has to be the most interesting video out there, watching me unpack bags of noodles. But there we go. Mix them up. We got a cat running around, having a bit of fun. And we continue. What do we have now? Chicken flavor from S Market as well. Go ahead and put that there. These ones are, I wonder if it's just something different. Noodles came out a bit, yeah. I wonder if that's what we're supposed to expect. I'm not quite sure. They definitely are quite different than the other S Market, S brand noodles. keep that there. And that was chicken flavor. And we move on to, let's see, what do we have? We have we just have, that's kind of interesting. This is also chicken flavor. I don't know if I bought this by mistake or if it's old branding. It might be the same flavor. I mean, the only difference between these two is this one says Asia and this one says chicken noodles. I'm not quite sure if there is any difference. They cost the same anyway. So put that in a nice little moving bowl. So we shall put that there. And also with some spice. There we go. And then we go ahead and mark it so we know what that is. So for the first time we're going to go to a different brand. This is, we'll put in the equivalent from K-Market, and that will be chicken flavored noodles, as we see here. Yep. We'll do that. And ooh, got noodles everywhere, but that's okay, I'll clean it up later. So the noodles are much lighter in color, a bit thinner, so they definitely will taste differently. Good or bad, I don't know. I think it'll have a little less flavor, but it's hard to tell until we taste it. We got a nice little chicken flavor pack. So we'll put that in. And that is a much yellower color. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure. We'll try to get that in focus. If it'll get in focus. But you see that compared to what I had shown you with the S-Market, there really isn't any like dried vegetables or anything to mimic that, any look to that. It just looks like plain powder. So, is that a good thing, a bad thing? I got no idea, but it is what it is. And we'll make sure to mark it. We know it's chicken. And we move on to the next bit of noodles. And what we're gonna have here, we'll put in the, well, we'll put in, let's say the curry flavor next. So with the S brand, you cannot find a curry flavor. Again, noodles are much lighter. So what that means, I don't know. The curry flavor is a very orange powder. Nothing in there but powder. So whatever that means, there's really no texture to it. There's no kind of mix in colors. It's just kind of a solid colored powder. Where with the S brand, again, at least visually, it looks like it's a mix of spices with dried vegetables in there. So how that'll impact on the flavor, I don't know. We'll need to mark this with an empty bag, as there's only one K-Market curry flavor. And those 5 packs There's 1 curry flavor, 2 meat flavors, and 2 chicken. So, just something to keep in mind. We will continue. I don't know if you're still watching. It's not the most interesting thing in the world, but I figured that this information has to be out there. Well, who else is going to tell it to you? How else are you going to figure out if these are any good? Who's going to stop you from spending your hard-earned 30 cents? Right? Well, the answer to that is I am. Good friend. We are good friends, right? Anyway, meat flavored noodles will come next. What meat? I have no idea. Neither in English or Finnish does it tell us. Maybe in the ingredient list. I'm not going to spend too much time looking at the ingredient list, but I don't quite see. Well, maybe it's somewhere in there, who knows. But it is a meat, mystery meat. What are they hiding from us? I have no idea. Oh, but what do you have here? Inside we have a packet that clearly says beef flavor, so grand mystery solved. It's a beef flavor. Tastes like beef, right? Cow, something like that. And again, a very powdery powder. Not much texture to it. So, at this point, I have ran out of bowls. What does that mean? Well, we're gonna start eating, and the 3 from Lidl will be left for the last. Will they surprise us? I don't know. I'm gonna be boiling a little bit of water, and I'll be back in a second. So just keep on watching, keep on enjoying. So now we have a bit of boiled water. We're gonna be a bit careful. This thing does leak. I don't know why, but there we go. It's a bit of a mess. That's my own fault. I'm not an expert at this. You know, making noodles, home noodles. I imagine you can microwave these. You can. I prefer to do it this way. Is there any difference? I don't know. But we will start with these 5 bowls. We'll have to give it a minute. Do leave your comments if you like this format. It's a lot more relaxed. As you can see, there's not going to be as much editing. If any of you are watching my main channel, the Hungry Gizmo channel, I haven't had a lot of time to make videos, and I thought, well, maybe I need to get back into it, so we'll start with something simple, something easy. If you are not aware of the, I guess what I call the main channel, a lot of tech humor, tech jokes, technology humor. A lot of interesting stuff there, I think. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Point is, there's something to watch. A lot of content to watch. So, as these are going, I'll pick up the camera, because these don't take that long to get to an edible point. And one thing you'll notice in these, as I had mentioned, that they do have a lot of kind of dry vegetables that are getting hydrated. I like that. So how that's going to affect the flavor and taste, I hope it's for the better. But already looking at the 3, I can tell you that my preference visually, well, I haven't looked at the ones from Lidl yet, but compared to K-Market, it looks like the S-Market ones do visually, to me, look more appetizing, and they might be better. So, you know, there's that. So, mix these up a bit. I don't want to mix the flavors up, so maybe I'll use a little stick or something. did overwater these. So we'll give it a few minutes. It's still very hot. It's still doing its whole little cooking thing. Some people like to cover up the noodles. I don't, because I usually find that by the time it's cool enough to eat, it's already cooked. So it depends, you know, there's different ways of cooking it. Cook it in the microwave, as I mentioned. I don't know. I like it this way, so plain and simple, nothing special. I'm gonna go on a little bit of break right now because I gotta wait for a few things, but I'll be back. Don't worry. Okay, and I'm back with a little bit of water boiled again. This whole thing's a mess because I'm a bit sloppy, but we'll get it in there. So there we go. At least one thing I can say is that there's less splashback pouring into these. So who's to say? I'm not gonna fill these ones up to the top simply because I want to make them about the same as the previous bags. I mean the previous bowls. And let's just get this dipped in there. Completely soaked. Ready to go. Okay, so I expect that these down here are ready to go. So yeah, we'll start with one by one, and I'll just taste the the liquid that's in them first. A bit hot. Maybe I can put it on camera. It's a bit hard. Well, maybe not. But let's have a little taste. It's quite good. Oh, hey, you don't get any, Mr. Cat. I got a little cat crying here. But I can say right there that tastes pretty good. Does it taste like chicken? I don't know, but it tastes good. So, I mean, there's that. Actually, it tastes quite good. Okay, so for whatever reason, I've tasted 4 packs of noodles, and it seems like footage is lost, so I'm gonna go through these quickly. I've already tasted these, but we start out with the noodles, the chicken noodles. Give it a taste. I say they do have a bit of a chickeny flavor. I don't know how strongly, but like with these noodles, how they go, that's usually the case. Give them a little taste. And it does taste quite light, quite tasty, and the noodles do soak up a lot of the taste. And I think that's quite important because sometimes you do get packets that don't, but these do. Let's move on to the other chicken flavor. This has quite a different taste. Quite a bit of a different taste. It's a lighter taste, much lighter. I don't know what you'd call it, but man, I'm not good at describing this stuff, but it is what it is. I'd say that if you're into tasting something that is kind of like what you would expect, you go for the first one, but this has a bit of a, I don't know what to call it, more authentic flavor, a lighter flavor, and of course you have the whole wheat flour. That's why the noodles look differently. I was trying to figure that out earlier. I'm actually not too much into the whole wheat because I don't think it absorbs as much of the flavor as the, what do you call it? Not whole wheat. So, that's up to you. Some people do like it, health reasons and whatnot, but who knows. Moving on quickly to the vegetable flavor. And this does taste like a mix of vegetables. It doesn't have the same meaty taste that the chicken had. And again, the noodles themselves have a very good they're quite good at holding that flavor, retaining it. They're quite good noodles, whatever it is to them. Then we get to the tom yum flavor, and it also tastes like it should. It just does. I'm quite, like I said, impressed by these S-Market noodles. Not much more to say about them. I haven't tasted this one up. As you see, I haven't mixed it yet, but if it's anything like the other ones, I expect that we'll see similar results, or taste similar results. Yep. Again, very good at retaining flavor. So it's got that going for it. And finally, we taste the meat noodles. Actually, this one's beef noodles, so give that a taste. Yeah, actually, surprisingly enough, I have to say this does taste like something that was kind of soaked in a beef broth, surprisingly, because I never quite expect these to taste like they say they do, but this one does, surprisingly. Yeah, I mean, this really does taste like if I made a beef broth and soaked it in there, so that's good if you like that. I mean, of the 5, if you were to ask me which one I like the most, it'd have to go back to the first chicken noodle, and that's just a personal preference. And we've got noodles all over here, so it'll be a bit of a cleanup, but anyway, yeah, I like this one out of the 5. Now we will compare this to the K-Market brand. Get some zooming in there. There you go. Yeah. So who knows? Generally, K-Market is considered to be the pricier store. So surprising to find them to be a bit cheaper. I don't know if they're cheaper per ounce or per gram, but definitely if you were buying per bag or per unit, this was cheaper. And I don't know what that tastes like. Maybe I'll mix it up a bit because, man, no, it's not as flavorful. It feels more watered down. Did I use more water? I don't think so, because some of these I used a lot of water. I can immediately say that it's not as flavor packed, and I think the cat agrees with me. It's just not there for me. Yeah, it kind of has like this chickenish flavor, but no, it's not there for me. So that's a bit of a, what do you call it, disappointment? Yeah, disappointment. So, but again, what do you expect? So, yeah, immediately. And the noodles don't quite hold the flavor as much either, so is it fine? Yeah, but come on, if you got the choice, at this point, stick to S-Market. We'll move on to the next. Moving on to the next piece of noodles. This is curry flavor. This will be the first curry flavor we try. S brand does not have a curry flavor. This is very yellow flavor, so we'll see. Give it a little taste, see how it comes out. And it has a very much a curry flavor, but again, the disappointment seems like it's not. It's like, It's like when you make chocolate milk or any other powdered drink and you just don't put enough of that powder in. Like, it would need at least twice as much. It's not there. And to say that the curry flavor is very flat. I guess it just doesn't have the mix of spices. I mean, it must have a mix of spices to be, you know. But yeah. Yeah, like after tasting those 5 before and then going to that, yeah, well, we'll move on. This is the originally meat flavor, and upon opening we found out that it was beef, so this will be good to compare with the other beef. See if we can get in focus, and let's give that a little taste. And again, it tastes right. What can I say? It has a beef flavor, but it tastes watered down. I'm definitely not using more water, at least not vastly so. And to top it off, those noodles haven't really soaked anything in, unlike the other noodles that really soaked up that liquid. These haven't. And I'll give it a taste. And the noodles just taste plain. It's like cooking the noodles. They don't hold any of the beef flavor. Yeah. And the cat wants some, but shouldn't have any. So now, with that done, I'm gonna clear things up a bit, and we'll move on to the Lidl, see if they can surprise us. Right now, the contender is stick to the S brand. And my personal favorite has been the plain chicken noodles from S brand. But all of them have been quite good from S brand. All of them from K-Market have been... They've tasted correct, but, you know, they taste like what you think they're supposed to, but they're lacking. At this price range, anyway. So, I'll return in a bit. Okay, and now... we're ready to begin the last 3, the final countdown. And we put some water to boil. And what do we have? We have, if you can see that on camera, spicy prawn flavor. We have barbecue beef flavor. And curry flavor. So let's go ahead and put those in so that we can get the ultimate taste test. These again look more similar to the noodles we had coming from K-Market, from Utica brand. And also the dust, man, again. It's very much dust. I don't know, what do you call it? You know, you don't see much in it. When you zoom in and look at that, and man, it does not look appetizing. So I don't know what to say. These are the most expensive, which is surprising because it's coming from Lidl, a place that you expect to be the cheaper store, and generally they tend to be, but not for this specific product. So yeah, there's that. I mean, let's hope that the flavor surprises us. This is going to be beef, and we'll scratch that in there. Not very elegant, but what can I say? Oh, it's not on camera. There you go. And get a little beef in there, and again, powder. And I wonder, I'm looking at this label here, I wonder if they're coming from the same source. Give me a second, I'll look through the old K-Market ones and see what we have in there. Because I have a chicken flavor, and let's see, we have a beef flavor here. And surprise, surprise, they look surprisingly similar. So is Lidl using the same source of noodles and flavoring as K-Market? The packet's a bit bigger, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they are. Same type of symbol, same type of packaging. You know, if I look at the packaging, maybe even you could see the source and all that, but won't delve too much into that. They look very similar. They look very powdery. And we have a prawn flavor. And of course the noodles flying everywhere. And we'll punch that in. These are bigger than the rest, so price. Maybe it's better or worse, I don't know. But yeah, that powder does not look appetizing. But who knows? I've been surprised, so maybe they'll surprise me. These are 45 cents a packet, so they're not exactly cheap. When you're getting close to the 45-50 cent mark, my first thought, if you're going to spend that much on noodles, because generally if you're spending money on noodles like these, ramen noodles, you know, ramen, I don't know how it's pronounced, but if you're going to be spending money on ramen noodles, once you get to the 50 cent mark, I think you're better off going to, you know, any number of international stores that will sell you imported ramen noodles that have a good reputation, and you're going to taste something with a lot more flavor. Now, those S-Market ones did give me a run for the money, so maybe maybe at some point I'll compare those to higher end brands. I haven't made judgment on these yet. Of course, I have to taste them. I'm just saying that they look surprisingly similar to what we can call the K-Market Pirka brand. So, as these, as we wait for these to cook, I'll put it on pause, and I'll return shortly. Okay, what are we looking at here? This is the prawn flavor, I believe. Let me give it a little taste. Man, am I making a mess? Yeah, that is prawn. Definitely tastes like shrimp. Tastes pretty good, actually. I like that. Yeah, it's good. But these noodles, just like the K-Market ones, are not quite soaking up the liquid like I would hope to. So I'm expecting that we're gonna experience the same problem. As we see, they don't really capture much of the spice or flavor or anything like that. Let's give it a taste. And yeah, man, if you're gonna eat these, you might as well eat them with a spoon, maybe, if you want to get the flavor of the sauce, or whatever you want to call it, of the spice. But still, I like the flavor, but again, disappointed. And this is the most expensive of the three, so I mean, I can't say it's shrimp flavor. I like it a little bit better than the other flavors I had from K-Market, but the S brand, the Rainbow brand, yeah, that's where it's at, with noodles at least. You know, I'm not sure if it's quite the same with everything else. So, then we move on. We move on and on and on to the beef flavor. Yeah. I think this is beef. Yeah, this must be beef. So is this gonna be any better? Man, I'm about to find out, aren't I? But it seems like it's gonna be the same issue. Actually, surprisingly, that did have a little bit more flavor mixed in. It's not quite the strength I wanted at, but yeah, the taste was there. And if we just take it individually, just a little test. Yeah, that's good stuff. But what I'm saying is yeah, it's good stuff, but it's still lacking. I think that's better than the K Market branded beef, but the S Market brand it's just night and day. You give me them side by side, and man, it's hard to explain. If you're gonna buy these, buy S brand, Rainbow brand. They're not sponsoring me. Who knows? Maybe they can watch this and give me some free noodles. But they're not sponsoring me. No one's sponsoring me because I'm a little guy out here. So you can believe me when there's just no comparison. We'll go on to the next one. Yes, and finally, curry once again. Is this going to be much different? I don't know. We'll give it a taste. It's stronger, definitely. Now the powder packet did seem to be about twice the size as the one we had from the Putica K Market brand. So that might have something to do with it. It's not that interesting of a taste. It's maybe what you'd call it. It's curry, but there's nothing kind of special to it. It's kind of a plain curry taste. But it's there. It does taste like curry. I mean, no complaints here. And obviously I overfilled this, so we're gonna have a mess to clean up. But it does look like it has a nice coating. I mean, it looks like it has some yellow to it. Of course, it hasn't soaked up the liquid like the K brand, and just as kind of evidence and proof, these are sitting in the same bowls as the ones I have used for the S Market branded noodles, and there's still a lot of liquid. So if you are the type of person who likes liquid in your noodle soup, maybe these are for you. In my opinion, stick to Rainbow. That's what you gotta go for. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say about it. Go ahead and zoom out, and I mean, it's these Rainbow ones are the best. These are not. These are little. Are they better than the K Market ones? I don't know. I say they're about the same. It has a little bit more flavor in it, I think, in my opinion, for the same amount of water. But really, if you have a choice, Rainbow it is. I'm kind of disappointed that you have to buy flavor packs of 5. Packs of 5 of the same flavor. So if you want to have different flavors, at least in the store that I went to, you can't. So you have to pick. If you're going to buy a 5-pack of chicken, a 5-pack of tom yum, a 5-pack of beef, and then you end up like me with, what, 25 noodles? 25 packs of noodles plus all this? Yeah, I got too many noodles. I'm going to be eating them for the rest of my life. But that said, I didn't know what I was getting into, and I'm kind of happy that the most amount of noodles I have of everything I could have tasted are the best of the 3. They're actually quite good. Actually, I do have to say that ignoring the price entirely, those are actually pretty good. Ignoring the price entirely, the K Market brand and the Lidl brand, I'm sorry, the taste is just not there. I don't really like them. Maybe you can, I would suggest frying up some vegetables, mixing up a little bit more flavor in them if you want them to taste good. But as is, out of the bag, no. Just forget it. It's not worth it. Especially when, you're paying 45 cents for that. No. And with the K-Market, yeah, I guess per unit they're cheaper, but still the same, no. I mean, you know, just spend a little extra. It's like, what, 30 cents, 30, I don't know. It's not that much more for the S brand. And the flavor is much better. The texture is better. The noodles are better. Everything about it's better. So, that's my opinion. Clear verdict. If you think I'm wrong, you can say it. You can tell me. But, you know, honest truth is probably you're wrong and I'm right? Is that a polite thing to say? No, not really, but I think it's the case. So anyway, if you do like this format of video, I mean, if you're still hanging around here after who knows how long, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, there's not a lot of editing to this. And I haven't really said anything. Come on, I'm just talking about noodles. Don't have any nice little stories to include there, and probably not the best speaker when it comes to this stuff. I mean, that takes a little time, doesn't it? I have to learn how to describe these flavors, but yeah, if you do like it, you know, let me know. And probably I'm going to continue to do this. I was kind of on the edge about it, but you know, just as a personal project, because I kind of want to know what is the best flavor. Kind of, you know, I've been stuck buying the K-Market noodles because I just figured they're all the same and it was slightly cheaper, so you know, I get it. Not that I eat these too much, but you know, who'd have known that, hey, go across the street, I don't know, I mean, I don't know how it is where you live in Finland, but you know, where I am, it's like every place that there's an S Market or Prisma or a K Market all in the same place, so it's just a matter of crossing the street for a little bit more flavor. Who can say no to that, you know? And if there's another place that I could cross to get even more flavor for the same price or similar, then do that, right? And just be careful when you're crossing the street because it's winter, and you know, make sure you're visible, be safe, and yeah, that's all we got. Check out my main channel. Maybe you'd like it, especially if you're into tech. And I got a bunch of other channels. Check them out. And, you know, just do it. And that'll be all for today, right? Bye-bye.